What's up, y'all? Matt here, Dlux, DluxFab.com. Today, we're going to assemble some SSDLUX axles. Now, this one's set up as a rear for a Class 3. I just tore it apart for the purpose of the video so I can show you guys. So, it's going to come all in bags when you get it, but we got most of the parts here laid out. I'm just going to talk on the points that matter and just shut up and build things on the points that don't. So, when you start it, you got your housing. This is a left drop axle. So, needed to shave the link mounts off the top of this SSD diamond housing. I've already done that, as you can see. I'm gonna lay this down like you see on. Now, truss mount, link mount, link mount. You want both those facing the same direction on this. Press these in, you want to line them up best you can. It's a little much. There's that one. Sorry for the noise from the dryer. My IRC room also has my washer and dryer in it. But we're going to make progress regardless. As always, start all these screws before you crank any of them down. All started loose. Let's put the other one in. 3 holes go on top because of truss. Link mount goes towards the middle of the truck. Try to line that up. Push her home. Just start them all. Now at this point, you're going to kind of want to look down the axle like a gun sight. You want these holes and these holes to line up good. There's a little bit of wiggle room this way and this way in these axle tubes. So if you get a set, once you get your C-hubs on, don't quite line up perfect, back these screws off and kind of give this a little twist and then crank them back down. There's some wiggle room there. You may get it together, it might be a little crooked, but you should be able to correct it pretty easily. Another thing you can do is what I'm going to do right here. I got the truss, carbon plate. My carbon servo mount plate's already on this truss, but you get the idea. I'm going to put it on top. I'm going to look down these holes. All that lines up pretty good. I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these screws down. And don't go all crazy and strip these out. Building this truck for it, this axle forever. As I keep saying, you would Loctite all of these. I'll go back and do that later. Alright, now that that's in, we're going to drop in our pumpkin, our diff assembly. Now, this is all greasy, it's all been together before. This is an underdrive. This is a Vanquish underdrive, 33.8. This is a rear axle for a rear steer truck, so that's why it is like it is. Drop that home. Drop this on. Getting grease everywhere. About messed up there. That's how I want this one set up. You can set these up either way, guys. It can be high axle or low. Really, in the rear, this should be a low pinion. A low pinion is stronger in the rear and a high pinion is stronger in the front. But that's the way I'm going to run this one. It'll be fine. Ooh, that belt got hurt. Now tip, when you're driving screws into plastic, don't go all like full bore all the time. Take it easy, because you can get the threads, the screw hot with friction and melt the plastic. Check those by hand. Right, there we go. Getting my greasy fingerprints all over everything. Next step, link mounts. Come on. Come on, fingers. All right, cool, there you go. So, next step we're gonna do, we're gonna install our truss. Once again, start all the screws before you crank any of them down. Now remember, these 3 screws here, they're not going into a whole lot of meat in this axle tube, so once again, don't get crazy on the torque. This side there's a little more meat, but not by much. So snug all those. Once again, Loctite, guys. It's your friend. See, guys, I've already installed this carbon plate onto this truss. It mounts from the bottom. There's 3 countersunk holes here, here, and here. Now to tighten this screw, there's a hole in the truss here, so you fit your driver through there to tighten that screw up. All right, there's that step. There's your truss, servo mount. Now, skid plate. Servo skid goes in right here. What's the old saying goes? Once I find the hole, there we go. I'm gonna start that, but I'm not gonna. Nope, we're gonna go ahead and just crank that all the way on down. Start both screws before you crank any of it down. Now, moving to this. This is it's dusty. Clean it off. Power Hobby 633. These are a super affordable servo that makes like 400 inch ounces of torque or whatever. I think that's what it is, and it's about $65. So you guys are looking for a stout budget servo? It's a good one here. I've already got my servo mounts on here. You see the orientation they're facing. And my servo horn, all that, it's already all centered. So now we'll slide this up in like so. It's a tight fit, but it needs to be. Now we put this mount, these screws here. There, there, and there. Get over here. These 3 screws. Remember, start all of them before you crank any of them down. Works a lot better once you line it up. Your main components of your SSDLUX. Now, let's move on to our C-hubs. Got them right here. Now these are 0-degree C-hubs. Once again, this is set up. This is an axle for a rear steer on a Class 3. So I'm going to set the caster on this thing pretty much dead up, as close to dead up as I can get it. Sometimes you gotta flip these things around, guys, and get them exactly where you want them. There, that's perpendicular. That's right in line with these screws here. Let's stick that on there, and we'll line this other side up. Nice. Now at this point, you should be able to look down kind of across these 2 flats. See how close they are. Lit. That's good. I'm happy with that. Now, you'll have 4, 6 or something, little stubby screws. Hold your C-hubs on. Now, if you strip these screws out, guys, don't be scared just to drill and tap another set of screws. So you strip out the one on this end, drill and tap one here. Or if that's bad, drill and tap one right through here. Just put it all together, drill and tap right through the C into the axle tube. You'll be fine. Ooh, look, a burr. It's been in there a while. Little sheet metal burr. That's been in there a good long time. So let's screw this other side on. There it is. All right, so far so good. There we go. Now guys, Knuckles. We've talked about Knuckles. You know how this works. These are trimmed poorly to get a narrower wheel on there and make the rear as narrow as I could on that truck. But we're just going to go ahead and install them. Now these are 0 Ackerman as well. The 0 proper. I think these are 0 Ackerman. I don't remember. We'll start with the driver. This side here. Long side. Their shaft. These are axial stub style. Slide that through. We've covered Knuckles in good detail in several videos here. You guys should have a pretty good grip on that. Because these are 0 cap, use the cap head screws, button head screws, whatever you want to call them. They go on top. These are older version. Oh, bearing's trying to get away. Get in there, turd. The newer 0s don't use the knuckle balls anymore. They have kingpins, which is pretty freaking sweet. All right, there you go. Let's go ahead and seat this bearing back in there again. Nice. Next up is our pin. So turn this, make sure that's straight up and down. Grab our axial drive pin here. Handy dandy deal nose. I'm going to grab it right out the very end like so. That's why there's slots in these knuckles, guys. Just to get these pins and stuff in. So push this over where it's supposed to be. Now these are standard axial. Now these are standard axial 12mm hexes, right? That's set screw right there. So we'll drop that on. There's nothing special here. We'll turn them around like so. So I can reach in here. Pull it up tight and tighten my set screw. Now here on the other side, I robbed one of these bearings off here, so let me get into my stash here and grab another one. Alright, so as you know, this little cutout here, that's the bottom of the knuckle. So this bearing will fit. I may have to pull this apart to get that bearing in there. I don't think so. I was able to squeeze that in there. Sweet. Axle shaft. Knuckle. That top bearing I always see to is now. Bam. Knuckle ball. Oh, knocked it. Trying to keep it all in frame. Bearing trying to escape on me again. My dog in there just making a racket. Alright, that took a little doing. We got her in there. There's a little burr on the edge of this stub shaft. So, got that on there. I'm going to line up our pin for the axle shaft with this little slot. Good God. Go on, dog. He come in here just to sniff around and then shake. Silly dog. Get that in there. You've noticed I've knocked a little nipple off this with a grinder just to make it fit more wheels. Now we're gonna turn this around to the bottom so I got a better, straighter. There you go, there's the majority of it. Now, drag link tie rod. Now, for this setup, 20mm servo horn is perfect. If you're changing over, or you have different arms, different knuckles, you buy an SSDLUX kit. There should be an extra hole drilled up here, just like that one is. But if you get one, you don't have it, it's not a big deal. You can just drill another hole there. Or if you're flipping from side to side, you can turn this knuckle over, put it here, and transfer your pattern. Now, drag link gets a little spacer. Guess I drilled that one small. So I had drilled and tapped that hole. That good and tight. This silver horn was cut down, as you can see. It was a 24mm I had on hand, and I made it 20. Now the reason you run a 20 and you need to move the drag link location on the knuckle is because you don't have so much travel there. It'll hit the truss. As it is, it's full lock to lock with mechanical steering stops. So now, tie rod. I misplaced my trusty little four-way. I don't know where I put it. Dog coming in here just to bug me. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he's back. Will you beat it? You floppy-eared turd. And there you go. That's how you assemble an SSDLUX, guys. Pretty basic stuff, but more information is better than less information. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.